Hey, I'm Masked here. I did the lovely new Tales of the God Wars content earlier. It's a teaser for the second God Wars dungeon that will be coming out later this month. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, what the content entailed and what I thought of it. So, first and foremost, the lore that came from it was excellent. I really liked the introduction of all 5 of the characters that were going to be, well, I guess all 6 of the characters that were going to be fighting against in the dungeon, and who I guess we can align with based on the little piece of anima faction stuff that we're getting. Their stories were effectively told through smaller cutscenes. It didn't require people to read a book, which I'm never against a book, but cutscenes are always better. We get to see some personality through movements and actions and the way they speak, and that's great. However, I have some reservations about this content. First and foremost is more of a quest complaint. Jagex has been talking, or at least they did last year a lot, about wanting to do more bottle quests. And they tried that out with the Call of the Ancestors quest, which was pretty decent. It wasn't awful. And they did the same kind of philosophy with Beneath Cursed Tides, which resulted in a really awful quest. But I feel like they almost didn't put enough into the Tales of the God Wars content. Like, I didn't need more content with the bosses themselves, but more content with the actual content would have been great. Currently, the way to unlock all this stuff is, for the Saren one, you go click on 20 memories. For the Zeros one, you go kill a bunch of grot worms. For the Zamorak one, you go fight Krill and it's kind of, you go use one on the Barrow's chest. It was all very forgettable. It almost made too much use of existing content and resulted in some really lackluster moments, pre-moments in order to unlock the cutscenes. And I feel like with almost just a little bit more effort, they very easily could have made a bottle quest out of this, Instead of just the curator showing up, not really explaining who he is, and having a magical book with pages looking for memories, he could have been trying to help you get inside the dungeon. Maybe the generals have gone inside and locked it behind them, and he knows that down there's that source of anima, and he doesn't just want them to have access to it, he wants it to be open. Maybe instead of just sending us off to get memories, he sends us off to find out who these generals are and find a way to unlock the dungeon. So instead of going off and just clicking 20 memories and killing grotworms and fighting 2 sets of, fighting Krill and going through the Barrows, maybe we could have had, some more dialogue with people, gone off and actually investigated who these people were, especially for the Saren one. Having Cywer elves on the surface is not unprecedented per se, but it's certainly odd, and it leaves not a lot of questions, but a lot of interesting space around the idea that some of the elves and the Cywer clan did come back with Saren and didn't stay on Tardiad to become crystalline shapeshifters. And I feel like if we'd had the ability to not just see this brief memory, but also have gone and spoken to Saren about it. Maybe not spoken to Saren directly, because that's some high requirements, but I don't know, just spoken with some of the elves in some way, shape, or form. Go to Letya and talk to the chronicler there, whose name I'm totally blanking on all of a sudden. Endweir? No, that's the emissary, never mind. But, going to certain places and interacting with some of the people just to get more information, for the Furies, not just go and kill Krill Sitzeroth. Why don't we ask for completion of Dishonor Among Thieves, pop down and actually talk to Zamorak? It's not a high-level quest. And I feel like there was a lot of opportunities for more storytelling and more character work that could have been done, that really could have expanded this from just a Tales content into a bottle quest, which would have made questers like myself super happy. Oh, hey, here's a surprise bottle quest. And I know it's kind of an arbitrary categorization, but with the minimal number of quests we get every year, and, the Tales content being good in terms of storytelling, I really would have appreciated to get more actual gameplay content out of this bit of story, especially because it seems like it's going to be so high impact. Either way, it was enjoyable content, and I really was happy to get to, see these characters, who they are, what their goals are. We got a lot of backstory out of just, a couple lines of dialogue from each. But honestly, I do really feel like they could have gone a little bit further, given us some puzzles, some gameplay, some characters to interact with that really could have pushed this up to a quest level, and that would have been nice. Either way, though, I do hope that this kind of lore delivery method is something they consider in the future, especially since I know this is a fairly large project, and maybe, going for a full-scale quest, or even, a bottle-scale quest wasn't in the development budget. So, those are just kind of what I would have loved to see out of it. I'm still really happy with the content, and I do hope this sort of thing doesn't go away. If they're introducing small snippets of lore, it seems like the Tales format would be really great to push forward with, and I'm glad they did something. So good work on that, Jagex. If you guys have the development budget in the future, do consider going for bottle quests, please. If you can make them good quality and fun to play, I'm sure everybody would be happy. But, hey, thanks for getting us something and setting up some interesting characters. I really especially hope that the curator comes back in the future and his little book is explained. I have a personal theory about him, and I'm eager to see where else he'll pop up. Thanks for listening to this little bit of a ramble. Probably not even gonna bother to put it on any sort of background or anything. I'm just recording this on my phone at 1:30 in the morning. So yeah, thanks for listening. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this content, because I enjoyed it for what it was. Thanks!